In the heart of a small town, nestled between rolling hills and meandering streams, lay the Whispering Woods. The townsfolk spoke of it in hushed tones, their eyes flickering with a mix of fear and reverence. They said the woods were alive, that they held secrets older than memory itself. But most of all, they warned, never stay in the woods after dark. Tom, a curious young man with a mop of unruly hair and a penchant for adventure, had always been drawn to the Whispering Woods. His grandmother, who had a touch of magic about her, would tell him stories by the fireplace. She spoke of ancient spirits, of trees that whispered secrets to those who listened carefully. Tom would sit wide-eyed, imagining the rustling leaves as a chorus of voices, sharing tales of lost love, forgotten dreams, and the passage of time. One crisp autumn afternoon, when the leaves had turned fiery red and the air smelled of damp earth, Tom decided to explore the woods. Armed with a notebook and a sense of wonder, he set off, promising his worried mother he'd be back before nightfall. The Whispering Woods welcomed him with open arms. The trees stood tall, their trunks gnarled and wise. The leaves crunched under Tom's boots, and the sunlight filtered through the canopy, dappling the forest floor. He listened intently, hoping to catch a whisper or two. As the hours slipped by, Tom wandered deeper into the woods. The shadows grew longer, and the air thickened with anticipation. He noticed that the trees seemed to move with a rhythm, like they were breathing. The wind carried soft murmurs that sounded like words, but he couldn't quite understand them. Excited, he took out his notebook and began to write down everything he saw and heard. The sun dipped lower, casting elongated shadows. Tom realized he had gone further than he intended. Panic fluttered in his chest. He turned around, but the path was gone. The trees had closed in behind him, and no matter which way he went, he ended up back in the same place. The whispers grew louder now, urgent and insistent. They weren't the friendly murmurs he had imagined. They sounded like warnings. Shadows danced between the trees, and Tom felt like he was being watched. He remembered the stories, the ones about people who had disappeared in the Whispering Woods, never to be seen again. Just as panic threatened to overwhelm him, Tom heard a clear voice. It was different from the whispers. It was warm and friendly. The voice guided him, telling him to follow the moonlight that filtered through the branches. Trusting the voice, Tom walked on, and soon he saw the edge of the woods. He ran out of the forest and back to his home, where his mother was waiting, relieved to see him. Tom told her about the voice that helped him, and she smiled knowingly. She said that the woods were indeed magical, and that they protected the town. The voice he heard was the spirit of the woods, and it made sure he returned safely because he respected the forest and its rules. From that day on, Tom became the keeper of the wood's secrets. He would often go back to listen to the whispers, but he always made sure to leave before dark. And sometimes when the wind was just right, he could hear the spirit's voice, thanking him for being a friend to the Whispering Woods. And so, the legend lived on. The Whispering Woods, where the ancient trees whispered their tales to those who dared to listen. Tom grew old, passing down the stories to his grandchildren, who would sit wide-eyed by the fireplace, imagining the rustling leaves as a chorus of voices, sharing their secrets with the world. The Whispering Woods remained a place of wonder and mystery, a sanctuary for those who respected its magic. And if you ever find yourself near a sun-dappled forest, listen carefully. You might just hear the echoes of forgotten dreams and the passage of time carried on the wind.